before we get to that, we're going to have a bit of a break, and it is Mother's Day, of course, so Red Bull have prepared a little special something for you guys, the viewers here as well as at home on this fine day.
Hey Mom, happy Mother's Day. I love you.
I love you, Mom. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting me of my gaming career, and I love you, Mom.
I'd like to thank my mom for all the support that she's given me and always sticking by my side on my decisions and just always being there for me when I needed her.
Мама, привет. Хочу сказать спасибо, что поддерживаешь меня. Всегда люблю тебя. Буду кидать фоточки отсюда.
就是非常感谢我的妈妈，无论什么时候都这么支持我。就算我们家里没钱的时候，她也给我钱去网吧打 DOTA。然后感谢有你才会有我。
I very miss you because I've already 3 months didn't see you, so I want to say I love you, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Sorry I couldn't be there, and I love you.
妈妈节日快乐
I love you, Mom.
My first video game was RuneScape, so playing that game was sort of my first RPG. Sort of just branched out from there, I just became a gamer.
Doom probably was my first real game that I really remember.
The first video game I played is Street Fighter.
StarCraft 1 or Diablo 2.
First video game I ever played was Diablo 2.
My dad played Diablo 2, and I remember watching him.
My favorite game, it wasn't my first, but my favorite game was Warcraft 3.
My game that I played the most in the beginning was probably Warcraft 3, and after that transitioned into Dota 2.
My first video game, I think, was probably Guild Wars, that I actually played a lot. It was probably the game I had most fun in and have like all these nostalgia thoughts about. Yeah.
The games I fell in love with when I was a kid was like Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike.
我第一个玩的游戏是反恐精英吧 CS。
我早期玩的比较久的游戏是 CS。
I think the first video game I'm playing is Counter-Strike.
In Russia it was Kazaki. Kazaki is like strategy game.
I think it was some Mario game from Nintendo.
And I came home and I was like, I saw my dad and my brother in the room and they were playing a game. I was like, whoa, we got a game, like we got a console game. It was Sega Genesis and it was with Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it was just called Sonic. The first video game I've ever put a lot of time into was probably Super Mario 64. I was so stoked. I was like, oh my god, I was just screaming. I was like a little girl. It was Christmas. I got a brand new Nintendo 64 and I was the happiest kid alive. I remember just playing that non-stop.
The first game I put a lot of time into was Call of Duty, but I never took that especially serious.
My first game I really played a lot is Dota.
But yeah, Dota is definitely the first game I've taken seriously.
Okay, so a classic Jimmy is when the absolute worst thing in-game happens. When you're winning by 20,000 gold and then you just somehow lose the game, you've pulled a classic Jimmy.
So I had the experience firsthand with playing with Jimmy. He does his little classic Jimmy move, which is basically he turns a game, what you're winning, maybe into a throw or maybe into an even bigger lead. So you never know what he's going to do.
That means that he does stupid moves, and then he's going to be called Classic Jimmy.
Classic Jimmy is diving tier 3s, getting a kill and getting out alive. And it's also diving tier 3s, feeding and losing the game.
A classic Jimmy is when everyone in the game knows something will fail, but he tries to do it anyway.
I'd have to define classic Jimmy as something where you're looking at him going, please don't do this, please don't do this.
It's like, all right, let's do this. No, I'm going to try to do something crazy.
And then it either ends up being him causing 3 of us to die, or it's him drawing 4 people towards him, getting a double kill or a triple kill, and then dying eventually, but suddenly you just realize you took 2 towers during this minute-long chase.
The classic Jimmy that the community really knows me for is clowny, throwy, making big plays that either work or they don't. It's changed, it's developed into something more stable, more consistent, but you know, every now and then you still have the old classic Jimmy that's coming out, so it's a mixture of everything. No. We always lose when a classic Jimmy is pulled.
It's one of those where you don't know what's going to happen and you think it's going to go wrong, and some of the times it goes wrong, and some of the times he just pulls a miracle play that like almost wins you the game.
Usually fails, but when it does work, looks pretty damn good.
I would honestly say it's about 50-50. It's why I think it's classic Jimmy, because you never know what's going to happen when he does it.
I have to say it usually fails, but he has his moments of brilliance.
It is basically a good play, usually.
The classic Jimmy name itself, like I embraced it and I've accepted it, and it's just part of me now, and I enjoy it. I like it.
With Dota, when I was in 5th grade, one of my best friends was just playing Warcraft 3 at his house. I thought, hey, it looked cool, and I tried it, and that's pretty much it. Played ever since.
From Warcraft 3, like everyone else, play custom games.
I always like to exit my school and go play some video games with my friend in the cyber cafe, and we saw a newest game that's called Dota.
I was playing RuneScape at the local internet cafe, and then all these guys were playing Dota around me. I knew what Warcraft was at the time, but when I asked them about it, they told me it's a new custom game. It's really fun, and that's how I found Dota.
I was missing classes in school. I was going to internet cafe and play Warcraft 3 and Counter-Strike with friends, and then everyone was playing Dota there, and I started playing it too.
Well, one time I skipped my class with my friend, and then we went to the cyber cafe, and then we just find some game to play, and then hey, this Dota new game, and then we play together.
就跟我那个故事一样，然后如果有看过的人都知道，就是我是打篮球，然后受伤，然后在家里学习的时候太无聊，然后朋友就让我一起玩这个游戏，然后就爱上了。
My brother actually played Dota in like 8th grade, and I'm 4 years younger than him. So I was in 4th grade when I actually first played a game of Dota.
So at some point, my brother and I shared a computer together. He decided to join a Dota game. I looked at it and I liked it quite a lot. He and I had a bet that we're gonna play 1v1 in Dota. So he went to his friend's place and then we played each other, and the loser never plays again. Well, I was lucky that I won. Support player is he's gonna be more than just his lane. This is one of the major differences, I would say.
一个好的辅助，就现在的话，首先你要先保证你的3条线站得住，你的大哥可以发育起来，然后你要提防别人来gank你的大哥，然后你还要拉野帮他们发育，也要自己发育起来，因为中期需要你的控制，因为一般辅助都有很多控制，然后还有眼位，然后还有就是看大局吧。
做一个好的辅助，应该要保好现场的大哥，然后让自己的 carry 能顺利的发育出来。
Suppose have their own to watch what's going on, to know like the psychology of the enemy. Where are they moving? What are they doing? You pretty much try to make your other people play better or get further ahead, and you are very fine at yourself being at the lower positions because you want to win the game, and this is the way you have to win.
感觉这个比赛应该是 Secret 的辅助比较厉害吧。
这几个队的话就 Puppy 吧，还有那个仔，但是他现在打猎单，所以 Puppy。
Maybe Chuan, if I would have to take a choice.
Reached the point where carry roll is like the least mechanical skill involved. I think it's more of playing with your advantage and playing with your team to reach your maximum potential. So you have to sort of dictate the game as the carry. You have to start leading like the game because you're the most farmed hero and you have the most impactful skills usually.
我觉得打 carry 的人需要很冷静，然后有很硬的基本功，还有对地图的理解吧，还有就是对敌人 gank 的一种嗅觉，我觉得很重要。
I think most carry players feel like the need to just farm and stuff, but I feel like you should be dictating the game. I'm very vocal with what I want to do in the game, and I feel like that's probably why I'm probably one of the strongest carries right now.
可能是 RTZ 吧。
I'd have to go with Burning as the second best carry compared to me, obviously. I'm just kidding. I think Burning is a really strong carry, of course.
打中单的人对线能力不能特别差，要保证线上不会太劣势，然后中期带领队友推塔gank。可能我比较熟悉的是 S4 吧，因为打了就交手的可能多一点，然后他也拿过 TI 的冠军。
All we have to do is play as a unit, play with teamwork, less than just individual skill. if we combine those together, then we can win everything.
To be able to play offlane, I think you have to be very patient, and you need to realize that you're not going to get a lot out of the laning phase. So basically, your whole game is going to revolve around you like getting back into the game.
特点的话就是应该就是因为猎单经常是1打3，然后就是会最多的是就是去你怎样一个人去玩弄他们那3个人，然后报信息吧，就是这方面。
I think my role is usually to catch up and be a force in the late game. Usually I'm put on a hero that doesn't really do much in the early game, but instead has to recover and transition well into the later stages of the game.
我觉得我的猎单经验就是经验一般吧，然后还需要努力，然后因为很多英雄都不是很看。我觉得这个比赛当中，然后那个在的上会应该会比较好吧。
Luo is very good, Yoki is very good.